tica-tica-bum, tica. Meu coração faz tica-tica-bum, tica. E vem a saudade da Bahia, onde o samba tem canjere também numa batucada. Tica-bum, bum, 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 bum. É brasileiro, tica-tica-bum, tica. Com um bandeiro fazendo tica-bum, tica. My arms fold about you, you know, darling, why so in love with you am I.
In love with the night mysterious.
Girls are out to bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We think no more of Inco on a Sudbury Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we think no more of Inco on a Sudbury Saturday night. With Irish Jim O'Connell there and Scotty Jack McDonald, there's Hunky Frederick Herschel getting tight, but that's alright. There's Happy German Fritzy there with Frenchy getting tipsy, and even Joe the Gypsy knows it's Saturday tonight. Now when Mary Ann and Mabel come
You
to join
got
us at
to
the
get
table,
out there
and
this
the sound of the big
morning
woman.
with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. Waiting at the station with a workday window blow.
Here I am drinking, I'm caught thinking I wasn't always lonely like this. It must be the liquor, it makes me remember the ones that I swore I'd forget. But I was unkind, I left them behind. Now I can just reminisce. Where is my love? On a night like tonight, does she still see the same stars as I? The time is right. You hold me tight, and love's got me high. Please tell me yes, and don't say no, honey. Not tonight.
Start to make a pretty world for you and for me. And for the sun we'll find a man, and by the moon you can hold the string. Oh, can't you see that little world of ours will be the prettiest thing?
I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3-day beard I don't plan to shave, and it's a goofy thing, but I just gotta say, hey, I'm a doing all right. Yeah, think I'll make me some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, and that's the truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced, no, I'm just doing all right. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun.
Oh yeah, tell you something I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. Oh please, say to me.
Well, welcome to another episode of Mia's World, and welcome to my world. Welcome to your world. Welcome to our world. My world is your world. And today we have a fabulous show. It happens to be Chocolate Day, and we've got a wonderful chocolate expert in the house, Lucas Decraene. Welcome, Lucas, owner of Belgicatessen. I love that name. We'll get into that later. And we also have a fantastic woman, Shannon Coppola, or is it Coppola? Either or. Coppola. Okay, much more Italian. She runs a phenomenal place, which I just experienced, called Montauk Salt Cave. So we've got salt, we've got chocolate, we've got sweet, salty, we've got Valentine's Day coming up. And we're going to be talking to Shannon and Lucas momentarily. But first, a welcome also to my wonderful engineer, who's a singer-songwriter, Jade Zabrich. Thank you so much, Jade, for all your wonderful help, especially now because Lucas is dialing in from Austria. So we've got Montauk and Austria and Manhattan in the house. So first of all, we heard, as many of my listeners know, we do a music medley to start the show based on A, who was born today, February 9th, B, what events may have happened February 9th, no matter what decade or century, and C, I incorporate some of my guests' favorite musicians or styles or composers. So here's what you heard. First of all, my favorite song of ballad of all time, Moonlight in Vermont. Love the moonlight, love Vermont. And so that was Moonlight in Vermont featuring Stan Getz. That's a great version with Stan Getz. Theme song. Nothing to do with February 9th. That's just my theme song. Then we heard one of Shannon's favorite singers, Ella Fitzgerald, with the very appropriate Rodgers and Hart tune, My Funny Valentine. Then the great Carmen Miranda, the Portuguese vocalist, with Chicka Chicka Boom. And that was Carmen Miranda was born February 9th, 1909. Catherine Grayson, the singer from Kiss Me Kate, she's known best for Kiss Me Kate, born February 9th, 1922, with the great Cole Porter tune, So in Love. Love is a theme today. I am wearing violet because the word love is in the word violet. Just a little tidbit for you wordsmiths out there. So the Cole Porter tune, So in Love, is from Kiss Me Kate, and Catherine Grayson sang it, and she was born February 9th, 1922. Stompin' Tom Connors, great Canadian country singer, born February 9th, 1936, sang Sudbury Saturday Night. The great Carole King, born today in 1942, with Beautiful, oh my God. And Tapestry is the album that some of us know and love, is 50 years old this year. So it's the 50th anniversary of Tapestry. Carole King, born today in 1942, that was beautiful. Amarillo, Texas, country vocalist Joe Eli, born February 9th, 1947, singing Where Is My Love with none other than Linda Ronstadt. Then Lucas picked the Manhattan Transfer amongst many other things. And that was the Speak Up Mambo, We Need a Dance Floor. That was Cuéntame or Speak Up Mambo by the Manhattan Transfer. American R&B singer Major Harris, born February 9th, 1947, with Love Won't Let Me Wait. And then Sergio Mendes, one of my favorites, actually born February 11th, close enough, with Pretty World. Travis Tritt, another country singer, born today in 1963, with It's a Great Day to Be Alive. And it is a great day to be alive, especially with Shannon and Lucas in the house. And in 1964, on February 9th, any of you remember, it was the first appearance of the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, drawing 73 million viewers, and that was the great I Want to Hold Your Hand. I wish I could hold your guys' hands too, through the Zoom. And finally, Lucas loves Mozart, so we played, and I play recorder or Blockflute in Belgium or Flauto Dolce in Italy. Mozart Symphony No. 4, played on recorder, which I've never heard. I had to research that. That was performed by James Howard Young on recorder. Okay, a few other birthdays on February 9th. American poet Amy Lowell, 1874. Actor Joe Pesci, known for Goodfellas and many other films, 1943. American novelist Alice Walker, 1944, and appropriately from The Color Purple, author of The Color Purple. Mia Farrow, famous Mia Farrow actress from Rosemary's Baby and Purple Rose of Cairo. Purple seems to be a theme today, born in 1945. And finally, the French adult actress and dancer Lolo Ferrari, born February 9th, 1963. Today in history, the US Weather Bureau was established in 1870. Volleyball was invented in Massachusetts, February 9th, 1895. In 1934, it was the coldest day in New York City, minus 14 degrees. Nazi collaborators destroyed pro-Jewish cafe Alcazar in Amsterdam in 1941. 1942, daylight savings time was reinstated as a wartime measure to help conserve energy resources. In 1943, an executive order, we're familiar with those. FDR signed an executive order setting a minimum 48-hour work week in a number of critical war industries. The first test flight of Boeing 747, February 9th, 1969. 1974, I do remember this, US Figure Skating Championship was won by Dorothy Hamill. Madonna's album Like a Virgin went #1, February 9th, 1985. Tomb of Tutankhamun's treasure, Maya, was found in Egypt in 1986. The New York Stock Exchange installed a ladies' restroom in the Exchange Luncheon Club in 1987. In 1994, the Israeli minister Shimon Peres signed the accord with PLO's Yasser Arafat. The Fox cartoon series The Simpsons aired a 167th episode, the longest running animated series in cartoon history, 1997. And finally, in 2011, Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday album reached #1 on the Billboard. Today's holidays: it's Extraterrestrial Culture Day, it's National Cut the Cord Day, National Toothache Day, Pizza Pie Day, Read in the Bathtub Day, and finally, Chocolate Day. What better day for Lucas to be here with his amazing chocolates. Okay, now before we get to Lucas and Shannon, we always wrap up, or I always wrap up the news of the week in rhyme for the last 8 years. So here we go for this week. How's life going for Jen Psaki? I'd venture to say a bit rocky. She's got a knack for circling back. I think I'll go play some hockey. The teachers' unions are stalling on a situation galling. They don't want to return to help students learn. It's truly quite appalling. Eureka, it turns out, the union, without doubt, donates at last count a huge amount to the Biden campaign. But don't pout. The teachers got their vaccines. They're eating healthy greens, teaching kids to be wise with a savvy disguise of what education means. Now 2 Jeffs, not just one, are stepping down. What fun. First, Bezos to depart his Amazon cart, more shopping in the sun. Next, Zucker, count to 10, is leaving CNN. A stretched out reign, he can't complain, the end of an era, amen. My pillow man, Mike Lindell, banned from Twitter, oh well, what does that teach? No freedom of speech? The country is cast in a spell. Regardless of party line, we all have a right divine to express our opinion from Joe to Dominion. That's what makes America shine. Why are Google and Twitter assuming the role of King Glitter? They're not quite royal and surely not loyal. Am I sounding a bit bitter? To wipe out and erase and cancel out a face is not a good look unless you're a crook. I think I'll try outer space. The Golden Globes are next. The entertainment world's perplexed. Sophia Loren left out again. Hollywood's now vexed. Director Spike Lee was dissed. No nomination, is he pissed? The co-hosts are live, will they survive? Who'll be virtually hugged and kissed? Tina Fey from the Rainbow Room, Amy Poehler, not on Zoom, from Beverly Hills, we're supposed to get chills. I can only predict gloom and doom. It's read in the bathtub day, so soak and bubble away. Get a good novelette, just don't get the book wet. Now where is my Chardonnay? And that is our rhyming wrap up of the week. We've got to add some sparkle to the gloom, as I say. So here we are on Mia's World, tuning out, tuning in, reaching out to Shannon Coppola in Montauk, owner of the Montauk Salt Cave, which is an incredible place, which I've been going to Montauk summers and winters. Love the beach for 25 years, but I've never gone to your salt cave until this past December. And what an incredible experience that was. First of all, Shannon, how did you come up with this idea of a salt cave for health and for spirituality? And just tell us about the origin
You
of
got
it.
it. Well,
'cause
it
it's just
first
enchanting.
initially began with a wellness mission for our son, Oliver. Ever since he was born, he had some severe breathing issues, and the pediatrician said he was asthmatic. So we did the nebulizers, the chambers. That didn't seem to remedy this habitual cough that he literally had every hour on the hour, all day, all night. We would prop his crib up with books underneath it so that his respiratory tract was a little bit more vertical so he can breathe better. We then brought him to an ear, nose, and throat doctor who did an endoscopy, and turned out his adenoid and tonsils were blocking 90% of his airway. So we're like, yay, we have an answer. Let's get that out. And the kid can breathe and we can sleep. I mean, I didn't sleep for 4 years. That didn't work. Then we brought him to an allergist. And it turns out if it has 4 legs, he's allergic. If it blooms, it's allergic. If it's dust or dust mites or anything dust related, he's allergic. I'm like, great. So I'm going to have the boy in the bubble. Like, what am I supposed to do? So we did the Flonase, we did the Nasonex. Then I read that perhaps the adenoid could grow back. So back to the ENT we went. And then it turned out that he had acid reflux, but the doctor was unable to tell us if the cough was causing the reflux or if the reflux was causing the cough. So he prescribed like Prilosec. And I'm like, no, he's 4. No. So a friend had mentioned salt therapy. I had never heard of it before. I knew as a child, if we were sick, my mom had us gargle with salt water, or if we were injured, we took an Epsom salt bath. So I knew that there was healing to salt. Serendipitously, my mom's birthday fell 12, 13, 14 that year. So we went into New Jersey for her surprise birthday party, and there happened to be a salt room in the town that I grew up in. So I said, it can't hurt. It's all natural. Let's go. Well, Oliver slept for the first time in 4.5 years after doing 1 session. But of course, yeah, it was super amazing. But my husband and I didn't sleep. I had like the mirror under his nose, like, is he breathing? What's happening? Like, he hasn't slept. So it worked. We drove 3 hours back home to Montauk. He would cough. I'd drive back to New Jersey. So it was we figured out the answer. So I looked at my husband and I said, let's build one. And he was like, what? You're a high school English teacher and you have 3 kids. You want to now go and import tons of salt from Pakistan and build a salt cave in Montauk? I'm like, yeah, I do. So we did. And, Oliver has been unmedicated since 2014. He's a healthy, happy boy and
Amazing.
sleep.
Incredible. And by the way,
Yes,
Oliver
it
also has the
does.
word love in it.
It does.
So we love salt.
It
And is
is.
it all from Pakistan? Because I went into this incredible cave in Montauk, and you should mention the address and the
Okay.
website right now.
It's
before we
located at
forget.
552 Westlake Drive in Montauk, New York, and our website is montauksaltcave.com. Thank you.
Well, walking into that cave is like this pale pink palace of exotic, it's an exotic room, and it's quiet, it's tranquil. You put on not headphones. It's a tape recorded, spiritual, tranquil environment, and it's just amazing. So there are different kinds of things you can do, and for
Correct.
different
Yeah.
lengths
So
of time, right?
we also offer all different types of energy healing. For instance, we have a Reiki master, we have a sound healer. Pre-COVID, we were able to do a lot more. But right now we're just keeping it simple with focusing on the salt therapy and the energy healing with our Reiki master. And as you said, sure, the health benefits are vast. I mean, it helps everything from respiratory conditions to autoimmune, whether it's Lyme disease to arthritis. It helps your skin, it helps migraines and sinuses, but it grounds you, it boosts your immune system and it grounds you, and the salt kind of forces you to just relax. And just like our computers, every once in a while we have to plug it, unplug it, and plug it back in order for it to work properly. And I think humans need to do that too.
Yeah, and it's just so peaceful and relaxing, and you don't have to do anything. You just enter.
Yeah, it's the
and it's all
easiest,
done
healthiest
for
thing
you,
you can do
basically.
for yourself.
Yeah, well, they say the natural and the simple. Well, it wasn't so easy for you to build the thing, I'm sure. But is all of the salt, Shannon, from
Yeah,
the
it's from,
Himalayas, or
you
where
can
does it
you can
come
mine
from?
the salt from the Himalayas, but you cannot, in Nepal you can't take the salt from Nepal, but in Pakistan you can.
My God! So did
That's
you
a
import
super
it?
funny story. So
Where
there
did you get
was,
it?
I mean, unfortunately due to COVID, this one warehouse in New Jersey, in Montague, New Jersey, went out of business, but he was my source, because trying to deal with customs with 8 tons of pink Himalayan salt was, I mean, it was enough for me to get approval from the building department in East Hampton, but he was my go-to person, and the salt was being delivered the weekend of July 4th of 2015. So it was supposed to arrive on a Friday, and it was about 2 p.m. and it hadn't arrived yet. So I called my distributor in New Jersey, and he said, look, the shipping company picked it up. I'll give you their number. Call them. And I'm like, okay, great. So I call, and the woman who answered the phone had the thickest Bronx accent like you can imagine. And she said to me, you must be out of your mind if I'm driving to Montauk on July 4th weekend. Now, I don't know if it was just my stress, but it seemed to be the hottest summer I'd ever experienced in my life. And to think that there were 8 tons of salt stuck in Queens in the heat, which is like 15 degrees hotter than Montauk. I thought it was all going to melt and sweat and melt, and the truck was going to show up with just a big salty, soupy mess. But it was okay. So yeah. Yeah, it worked out.
So it worked out.
It worked out.
Salt.
Exactly.
Salt heals all wounds. Well, they talk about the salt lick and salt shakers and pillars of salt are biblical. So salt is like this all-encompassing, wonderful, wonderful mineral, I guess, right? Sort of remember it from our chemistry class. But it looks like stalactites and stalagmites. It looks like Bryce Canyon National Park in your salt cave. It's just an idyllic place, and everyone should just check it out. MontaukSaltCave.com. And Lucas, now let's just get Lucas into the act here, into Mia's world, and into the salt cave world, and into the chocolate world. It's Lucas Decraene calling in from Austria, of all places. And Lucas runs Belgicatessen, which is an amazing chocolate business. And Lucas, first of all, before we get to the chocolates, are there any salt caves in Austria or Belgium?
There are some caves in Belgium, but not salty. Beer caves and probably wine caves. We have plenty of those over here, but okay, it's probably a good idea, you know.
And can you bring chocolates into the salt cave?
I think it would pair beautifully. And there's a wine store right next door, so.
You got the chocolate. We're going to have to get Lucas's chocolates with the wine into the salt
business
cave
together, you know. So.
But Lucas, let's and you can have groups as well as going alone into the salt cave as well. I did not mention, but certainly you could have a girl group or or a co-ed group or whatever it is, but you
Yeah.
can do it solo and in a group.
Yeah.
So Valentine's Day is coming, so what the heck, right? So, you know, salt, sometimes people like
yeah.
salt with sweet. And so chocolate, let's talk about your chocolate background,
Yes.
Lucas. I know you were born in Belgium. You moved to the States in the 80s, in 1983. Went back to Belgium. Then you went to Austria, and you've been in the chocolate
Yes.
industry for 30 years. So how did you start Belgicatessen, and why? Did you
Well,
were you
I
always
worked
passionate about chocolate
before
when you were
for
growing up?
what was then called Kraft Foods. There was a Kraft Jacob Suchard Côte d'Or, a Belgian chocolatier who also had who was part of the Kraft group, became Philip Morris, which is now Mondelez. And while I was working there, I got a phone call from Neuhaus in Port Washington, New York, Long Island. And they were looking for someone who was opening stores for them in the United States. So being Belgian and receiving a phone call from what's the Rolls Royce of the chocolate makers, I said right away, yes. So I started working for Neuhaus and did some stores for them in Texas. And we had a different of opinion on how to do things. So in 2004, I went back to Belgium, still passionate about chocolates, and was also the end of a personal relationship in the United States and traveling back and forth between 2004 and then 2010 to the US. And in 2010, I decided to change my life around. So I lost a whole bunch of weight, had a gastric bypass, and came to Austria to meet my now wife. So I lost a lot of weight, and then I gained the weight, and my wife basically knows there was about the same thing. But it was good. And I was also of quite an advanced age. I was too young to retire, too old to get a regular job as an employee, and I was too nervous to do a bank robbery to get to money, so I had to do something else. So I decided to put my knowledge of Belgian chocolate, because Belgium is pretty famous for chocolate.
I know, I was there. That was the
Thank
best
you very
chocolate I've
much. It's
ever had,
always nice to talk to people with good taste. So we decided to do something. My wife retired from her previous job, and she had been working for 42 years at the same company. And we decided to do something just to support her life standards. And we started Belgicatessen, and Belgicatessen stands for Delicatessen from Belgium. We had first tried to do also beer and other things and waffles, all the good things that are Belgium known for. But Austrian laws are quite hectic for the alcoholic products, so we decided to stick with chocolates, because that's basically all I know. Yeah, I've been a consumer for 60 plus years, and I've been in the business for 30 plus years, so I know my job. Love it too.
So when you told me that you would learn different things from different
No, that's true, because when I
chocolatiers.
came to Austria, when I met my wife, I did not tell her I was a chocolate salesman. I told her I was a spy. I was an industrial spy. So whenever I go to whatever city, I always go look at the local chocolate stores or the sweet markets and see what chocolate they have. So it didn't work though, because I had to give up right away. So
But so does each chocolatier specialize in different things like pralines
well,
or
Belgium
truffles,
is a small
or how does
country,
that
and we
work?
have about 300 chocolatiers over there. So and if you've been in the business for as long as I am, you start knowing all the good ones, and you have big ones, and you have smaller size companies, and they have the small ones. And the best chocolatiers are the small chocolatiers who do not export chocolate, because the best chocolate does not travel very well. They have the difference of the temperatures and the pressure when you ship by air or something. So there's always those things to consider. So if you want to eat very good chocolate, you go to a small town, but there's a small local pâtissier, chocolatier who makes his own chocolate for the people from his small community. Those are the best chocolates you can get in Belgium, or probably anywhere in the whole wide world. But then if you want to get the better one, the larger sized companies, the very best mass-produced chocolate also available in New York is Neuhaus. That's very true. I work for them. Proud to have been working for them. It's very good chocolate. But then, since I could not link with a particular big chocolatier, I decided to go and on my own and saying the best truffles come from this one, the best pralines come from that one, then the bars, and then We have also sugar-free. We have vegan chocolate. So you have to start. This is the fun part of the job. Whenever you go someplace, you go in there and sample, and then you tell them, "Do you want to sell chocolate to me?" And that's also the niche from our business: the freshness, the good quality. Chocolates made with the best possible ingredients, top quality. So
why don't you hold up some of your amazing chocolates? They're very artsy, not just erotic, as you say. You've got
well,
Kama
yeah,
Sutra
okay.
images, you've
Now
got
this is the
hearts, you've
collection
got
that we have
Valentine's
for
Day.
Valentine. We have 16 different hearts filled with different fillings. They're colorful, but they're natural colors. They're the food coloring. We don't use no chemicals, no artificial flavoring, no artificial preservatives. These chocolates are good for 3 to 4 months. That's the top quality. We also
Wow.
use the French slogan "Le goût avant tout," taste before anything else. So it's something really to enjoy. And in this case, on Valentine's, this is something that lovers give to each other or something, because you enjoy being together. Good chocolates with good coffee, with a good glass of wine, even with a fantastic single malt Scottish whiskey. I mean, so many good combinations, even with a Chardonnay.
So do some of like
Hey,
my
I
my last
remember.
line in my limerick, Chardonnay. Where is the Chardonnay? So are some of the chocolates filled with
We
liqueurs
have liquor
at
filled
all, or
chocolates in winter time, but these chocolates are not liquor filled. We also have to watch, because children, they see the nice colors and they cannot have chocolates with liqueurs. That's always something. But they're filled with good fruity fillings. They're also good filled with what we call a praline, which is with ganache, vanilla.
really?
We have with granite apple here. We have with pomegranate. We have so many passion fruit, uh, strawberries, raspberries, caramel, salted caramel.
You have you should look at the website, which is
Yes.
Belgikatessen, right?
Yes.
Dot
Yeah.
.at, which is for Austria, right? And some of you're allowed
Yes.
to also customize
Yes.
the art on some of the chocolates, right? Like you could have,
Well, we
I don't
have
know,
one chocolate
drawing.
here. It's
We could put a salt cave on the
it
chocolate.
has the thing. It has our logo, Belgicatessen. So that's completely made
Yes.
with food coloring, and inside it's a wonderful praline. So
And also, I saw one of the chocolates had the
yes,
portrait of Beethoven, I
yes, we
believe,
have
on it. Beethoven. And I guess you can design
yes.
your own for
Well,
whatever it costs.
that's the advantage
Check that
nowadays.
out,
People
right?
always think when you have something special, you have to make thousands or something. It's not like that anymore. It's just 20, 30 units, and this
Can
is,
be
yeah,
custom.
super. Yeah,
Like, for instance, I love ginger. So do you
we
ever
have a
do like
ginger
a
stick,
glazed
like
ginger,
you have those
crystallized ginger?
orangettes with candied
Oh my
orange or candied
God.
lemon peel. We have those with ginger. So I know what to send you
Oh.
next to New York.
And I also love, it's very hard to find in chocolate stores. I discovered coffee
Yeah,
infused
we have
into
that.
chocolate, unless it's, you know,
Yes, yes.
you
That
have
goes
that.
into a
That's
ganache or the
like,
coffee
you know,
truffle.
it's like cappuccino, basically.
See, in the United
Right,
States,
the
too
coffee
many people
truffle.
call certain pralines truffles because it's a more nice name. This is something that Godiva started over there. They called everything a truffle. A truffle is basically a chocolate filled with also a chocolatey filling. And the chocolatey filling can also be infused by coffee, by a liqueur like rum or whiskey or even vodka, but also champagne. But of course, the good coffee flavors, the mocha, there's so many good flavors, so many good things possible with chocolate.
Of course. What's your, Shannon,
Oh
do
my
you have a
gosh, I just
favorite
want all
flavor?
of it right now. I
Well, we
do. I
have
want all
in
of it.
winter time in the season, we have our small little company, we have about 140 different kind of chocolates in stock in winter time.
Wow.
And now it's a little bit less. Now we only have about 40 different kinds because we're running out for the end of the season, because the end of the season for us, Easter with the Easter eggs, and
Right.
then a little bit Mother's Day, and in the summer there's nothing, because our chocolatiers who produce the chocolate in Belgium do not produce anything in the summertime. We have enough stock for the people that need it for the businesses because we sell predominantly to B2B, to hotels, restaurants, caterers. Right now, business is really bad because of Corona, COVID-19. So we have to, yeah, we have to, we suffer, we really do, but we manage, okay? And but at the end of the year, we have 140 different varieties. So the whole thing too, what I'm very proud
Both
to
of
say, the chocolates that we make have a high cacao level and less sugar. And most of many of the chocolates that we use, the sugar that's being used to make the chocolate is sugar coming from fruits, from oranges, from basically the same good quality sugar, but with lesser calories, lesser fattening. And this,
So in some ways, your chocolates are really, in many ways, they're very healthy actually. And what I love the most about chocolate is I love caffeine,
yeah,
and there is caffeine in chocolate. So
yeah.
bring on the
Well,
all-nighter, you know. Shannon, I wanted to ask you too, in terms of long-term health issues, what kind of health issues have people come in to the salt cave with, or are they coming
No,
in more for
well,
just relaxation?
both, but people who suffer with asthma and allergies, seasonal allergies, a lot of people, local people that have rheumatoid arthritis, and also Lyme disease. Lyme disease is really bad out here. I mean, both my husband and I have it, and just living where we live and with the high tick population, you're super lucky if you don't have it.
Deer up there,
Yeah.
there's so many deer out in Long
So
Island.
for inflammatory issues, whether it's respiratory or within, a lot of women who suffer with migraines will come. And after a session, that's right.
That's me.
I gave you the pillow, right? Did I give you that pillow? Good.
Yes, it's fantastic. Yes, but I forgot to mention that in the Montauk Salt Cave location in Montauk, there's also one in Manhattan
Yes.
on East 10th Street in New York City. One in Montauk, the store that you've got outside the cave is another exploration, not a cave exploration, but another kind of exploration, but some beautiful crafts, bracelets, handcrafted jewelry, but also some beautiful health
Right. Thank you.
products. And you could tell us some of those things
Yes.
too, if you'd like.
So we have a lot of salt products,
If you could tell
obviously. I mean, whether it's the pink Himalayan salt to bathe in for inflammation with your muscles, or if you suffer with a skin issue, whether it's eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis. We have the salt rollers for your skin. And then we have these, a lot of aromatherapy pillows for different, whether it's the eucalyptus to open up your sinus cavity, or the lavender for sleeping, or the combination of peppermint and lavender together with the salt if you do suffer with vertigo or with migraines. We have a lot of shea butter products. We have a lot of CBD products from this other awesome company. I kind of, the waiting room is to support other local businesses. So it's like the Salt of Montauk is in the waiting area, just supporting other businesses. I don't make any of the products. I just try them. And if they're super awesome, then they're part of our team. So yeah, there's a lot of really good healing crystals and stuff like that.
So we've got crystals in the Salt Cave store. We've got crystallized chocolate fruits,
and we have the
crystallized fruits in the
champagne crystal
chocolates.
also, eh? Goes good with chocolate.
I think maybe we should
Yeah.
bring some of the
That's
chocolates
what I
to the
was
Salt
thinking,
Cave.
because I have to put something together with salty chocolates and send some samples to Shannon so she can try them out, and maybe the guest later on can enjoy some chocolates at
I
the
would
session
love
or
that.
after the session, or to take home. Yeah, why not?
I would love that.
Well,
Do you? Well, we'll get those emails connected. Now, Lucas, do you have
yes,
chocolates that are salty?
yes, okay, yes.
Oh, you do?
We have some several salted
That's
caramel
interesting.
chocolates, and just
Yum.
also some dark chocolates, really bitter chocolates with a little bit of different sea salts. We have, like, for example, Scottish sea salt, come to think of it. I don't know anything about Himalayan salt. I heard about them. There's so many different varieties, but yeah, salt, yeah, good.
Because Shannon, do you know, and either of you, I've heard that I mean, everybody watches their diet and everybody's so concerned about extra over salt. But on the other hand, I've heard that salt is really, really good for you.
True,
I mean, in
like
terms of
true sea salt, as Lucas was saying, and the Himalayan salt, it's pure. It hasn't been stripped. It hasn't been overheated. Like your typical regular over-the-counter kosher salt, you know, does have it's been stripped of the minerals. The Himalayan salt has 84 minerals in it. So every time you consume it, you're actually replenishing your body with any minerals that you depleted throughout the day. People also always get concerned about their blood pressure when it comes to salt, but the Himalayan salt and any pure sea salt won't affect your blood pressure whatsoever. It'll just replenish the minerals that you need.
So what kind of salt do you
He
use,
says the
Lucas, in
Scottish,
your
the Scotland
chocolates?
sea
Scottish
salt.
sea salt and
Scottish?
yeah, basically sea salts. Okay. Another thing, we
Yeah.
do not produce chocolates here ourselves in Austria. I'm buying them from the chocolatiers I know in Belgium. And the chocolatiers I know in Belgium have all
Right.
been selected by Gomio because of the better quality product that they deliver. There's like I also compare the chocolate industry with the car industry. You can go from, let's say, from Manhattan to Brooklyn, you can go in a Chevy and you can go into a Cadillac. And in a Cadillac, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable, better sound system, but you're going to get there both way. And then Chevy, okay, there's good chocolates. There's basically each chocolate is good. Each chocolate has its own, you know, its own identity. But I'm not going to compare them to Hershey or to Reese's or to even Nestle Crunch. That's a different type of chocolate. But then in the United States, the filled chocolates, I don't know that many. And on the West Coast, we had See's candies. We have Ghirardelli, which is good. But then, okay, we have Godiva, but
Ghirardelli,
Godiva
yes.
used to be Belgian. Now it's a Turkish company. And I don't know. Yeah. And Godiva used
Really?
to be part of Campbell
Wow.
Soup. And basically, if you have to
my
buy
gosh.
chocolate that's made by a soup company, that's something, you know, I wouldn't want to get it. I'd rather go with someone who just makes chocolates. And but that's my personal opinion. Yeah, I'm prejudiced. What can I say? Huh? There's very
Oh
good
my
Swiss
God.
chocolate. There's also good French chocolates, Italians. I mean, there's chocolate all over the world. Good.
Italian chocolate. Shannon, have you tried any Belgian, Italian,
I
or
can't say that I
European
have.
chocolate?
I'm not. I may have, but I'm
Well,
I'm going
yeah,
to
you're
for
going
Well,
to.
sure.
you're going
You're
to.
going to.
So what is what would you like, Shannon, would you like to expand the salt caves into other cities, or are you just content to manage
Well,
on a
had you, I
local
mean,
basis? 'Cause
had
that's
you
a lot of
asked me
work in
this, you
itself.
know, I built the Montauk store in 2015. I then built the second store in 2016 in Huntington, New York, which is in between Montauk and New York and not too far away from Port Washington. And then the third store I built was in Manhattan in 2017. And had you asked me this question a year and a half ago, I would be ready to go and build away everywhere. But because of the pandemic, it's scary to be a storefront business owner and to think of creating something else right now. I wouldn't be prepared for it. Not that I wouldn't want to
Yeah, I
create
was
a
going to
space for people to go to, but you know, it's a place that's built on breathing with other people, right? I mean, that's the idea of
Right,
it, is to go into a room, absorb all of the minerals, inhale the salt, and feel better. Yet I feel like
right,
even now,
right.
almost a year into this, people still aren't ready to do anything in public, anything at all, regardless of
I know.
the health benefits and this how safe it is. People just aren't ready.
Well, and what I wanted to say is, because I'm very cautious and I was debating about going to the Salt Cave, but it's safer than going to the grocery store, which we're in every couple of days, basically. And it's so clean. It's so well.
Well, I had
taken
to have
care
the
of.
intricate ventilation system within the cave. Even building it back then was, if the salt gets too humid or too hot, it'll sweat and it'll melt and it'll go away. So there's a super intricate ventilation
right.
system. So as you're in there, it's taking out the stagnant air and putting in the fresh recycled air with the salt. So it is super clean and sterile. Yet I don't blame people for how they feel at this particular time. So expansion at the moment, not now, but not this
Not
day
now.
ever. Right.
But never say never. May end
Never
up with one in
know.
Austria.
Never
You
know.
never know. You'll be instead of sledding, you'll be skiing and having a
Yes.
chocolate break. And
Yeah.
Lucas will be coming to the salt cave and we'll just have a big soiree with a lot of chocolate
Well,
and a
okay.
lot of salt. And how is
He's great.
Oliver doing?
What is he
Shannon?
doing, or how is he doing?
Well,
He's
how is he
great.
doing health-wise?
He's
And
great. You know, this is his the winter, believe it or not, because the windows are closed, the heat is on, the dust accumulates. It doesn't matter how many times I change the sheets or vacuum. It's tricky for him. So I have to be mindful to make sure that he's in the salt cave at least once a week. And then in the fall, he's highly allergic to the ragweed. So out here, you know, the beach grasses and the ragweed, the goldenrod, the minute it blooms in late August, I can see it instantaneously. Sorry, I can see it. Sorry. I can see it instantaneously. He'll get the rhinitis underneath his eyes. And we know for sure, my husband and I know for sure that it's going to affect him. Yeah.
Does
No,
he
thank
have
goodness.
any food
No, all three of our
allergies,
kids are food safe. It's just environmental.
So they eat
Oh,
the
yes.
chocolates too.
Well, we have
Okay, good. We need crystallized ginger. We need salted chocolates. We need a chocolate cave day, and it's Valentine's Day coming up. So I want to just mention again the website for Lucas's business called. Do you pronounce it Belgita?
Belgicatessen, yeah,
I pronounce
Belgica
it
from Belgium, and
Belgicatessen.
delicatessen. So we combined the two words into one, Belgicatessen.
Yeah, it's great. So it's
Belgicatessen.
I found it as soon as Mia mentioned it. I looked it up. I found it.
No, but I'll make sure you get some samples.
And so that's
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's sweet. And Shannon, so are you still teaching while you're managing
Not yet.
Salt
That's
Cave?
something that perhaps I can return to when the children get a little older. The nearest high school is a 30-minute drive, so I would miss a lot. You know, I would have to leave before they went back to school. So for right now, you know, not yet.
This is a full plate as it is, right? Well, it's just been a joy to talk about chocolates and salt caves and healthy, wonderful, uplifting, joyous things like a salt cave and like chocolates. Chocolates is, nobody can not smile when you say chocolate. Right? So Lucas, it's been a treat to have you on. Lucas Decraene and Shannon Coppola. So in honor of Chocolate Day, and one day it'll be Salt Day. I don't know which day. I'll find out. And in honor of Valentine's Day and love, thank you so much for your passions about the Salt Cave and health, and for your beautiful chocolates, Lucas. It's just been a big, big treat to have you both on. And
thank you
thanks
for having
listening
us,
to Mia's
Thank you
World.
for having me. Thank you for
And
having us.
yes. And we're going to go out of the show with Carole King on the 50th anniversary of her amazing Tapestry album. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, in honor of love. And I hope we all still do. So have a wonderful Chocolate Day and Valentine's Day,
Thank
Shannon
you.
and Lucas.
Good
Thank
evening.
you so much.
Bye.
Nice to meet
Here's
you.
Carole
Good
King.
night. Bye.
Bye.
Tonight you're mine completely. You give your love so sweetly. Tonight the light of love is in your eyes. But will you love me tomorrow? Is this a lasting treasure, or just a moment's pleasure? Can I believe the magic of your sighs? Will you still love me tomorrow? Tonight with words unspoken.
Just a little addendum to our Mia's World show. Shannon's daughter Mia is making a cameo in honor of salt caves and chocolates. And hi,
Party with
Mia.
Mia as well.
It's Mia. Hi.
Yeah.
Do you love chocolate too? Well, Lucas has chocolate business, so we know how to hook you up.
Say nice to
Great to
meet
meet you, Mia.
Okay.
All right, now back to Carol
All
King.
right.
Thank you for listening. Bye, Mia. Bye, Shannon. Bye, Lucas. That was so cool.
I'd like to know that your love is love I can be sure of. So tell